Yeah, how's it going, everybody? I hope you're all well. It's Monday, the 28th of December, 2009, and I believe the weather's going to get bad here in Western Europe over the next few days, so hope everybody snuggles up and keeps warm and whatever. I just want to talk about a couple of things really, and what they are is they're sort of projections. I don't like the word predictions because there's no certainty in any of this stuff. There's no certainty for what we know as the future, but these are sort of things that I base on historically what's happened in the past and what has come to fruition. And what I've done is for Ireland, I've drawn up 6 of them, so I'm going to make that posting tonight. And because the other ones are bigger, they're on a bigger scale and just need a little bit more talking about. There's 4 then that relate to the world, and these will be sort of my 10 projections, as it were, for 2010, what I believe is going to happen for 2010. And I think they'll be a good indicator of my sort of understanding of history and what because I think so. I hope all of them don't come to pass. God blame me. But anyway, if some of them come to pass, at least I think it'll give people a bit of an insert of what general direction, what thrust societies, where we're going, right? And I just want to talk about the ones that relate to Ireland tonight, and I've sort of chosen 6 of them, and they're just sort of pretty obvious things, but hopefully that they won't be all that obvious. The first one I want to talk about is bank rates, and I think that they're going to go up. They mightn't go up much, but I think definitely they're on the up, and I think we won't have to wait long for that to happen. I think by the middle of next summer you'll see the bank rates will go up. As I say, probably not very much, but this man Trichet that controls the European economic scene, I think he may be in a way of pushing them up. And when we arrive at the 10th one, which will relate to the word, you'll probably understand why more they will need to put them up. Okay, I think state GDP is going to go down a lot more than they project. They're projecting that it's only going to go down a small amount, because you see they do it year on year. They don't do it they don't do it really on a scale as such. They just make the comparison with the previous year, and they compare the previous year with the previous year and whatever. Do you understand? So they're saying we went down a large amount from 2009, from 2008. Our GDP went down 7 or 8%, and our gross national product went down, I think, about 11 or 12%. So they're saying that the drop from this year, where we're down a huge amount from last year, will only be a small amount. I don't think so. I think it's probably going to be a lot more than what they're saying. They're saying maybe 1% or 0.5% or something like that. I think it might be a lot more. Anyway, the third thing that I want to touch on is unemployment. And at the moment on the live register is showing about 450,000 people. Now that's out of a total workforce of 2.3 million, so that'll give you an idea of where we're coming from. So a quarter of the potential workforce are drawing money from the state. So as I say, that'll give you an idea of what's actually happening there. They're making a projection, the ESRI are making a projection for next year, that for 2010, that another between 69 and 79,000 will go on the dole. I think you could be looking at a lot more people than that. I really, really do. And I think the key to that is what's going on in the banks. The banks, it doesn't matter what happens with NAMA, it doesn't matter what money they get from the government, all that money is there just for one purpose, so they can survive. These boys are really, really, they claim technically on the books they're insolvent. Really, they're bankrupt. That's really what the situation is. The big banks are all bankrupt in Ireland. That's really what's happening. And any money that they get coming in, I can assure you they're not going to put it back out again unless it's completely gilt edge. And for something like employment in this world situation, forget about it. We're not going to property and all, forget about it. Anything with the slightest tinge of speculation, forget about it. Then the next thing we've got to talk about is what's going to happen in government bonds. This is very, very important. You see, none of this was important before because we weren't borrowing money. We are out in the real world borrowing huge amounts of money. And not only do we have to pay the money back, we've got to pay the interest, we've got to pay these interest notes every year on this money. Now, at the moment, for our 10-year bonds, it's just less. We're just behind Greece. Greece is about 5.6% or so. We're 4.9%. And I think there's every possibility it could get a lot worse. It could get a lot worse. So That's what I think. I think it's not going to get better. Let's put it out. It ain't going to get better. So we see where it goes. I'm saying it'll probably get a little bit worse. Okay. Then the fifth thing is the black economy, and I think the black economy is going to grow in Ireland. And I think it's going to grow by a large amount next year. And if you think about it, the amount of tax it's facing ordinary people is monstrous, and people are going to respond to that by acquiring cash. Gives them freedom, it gives them flexibility that they don't have with things like cards and all the rest of it, okay? And they're going to start trading more. I think private money is going to come into existence more. That's city money and state money. I believe Kilkenny has it. It's called the Kilkenny Cats. And if anybody has one, maybe they could scan it, stick it up. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what it looks like. Because other than that, I'll have to go down to Kilkenny and buy some. But just I'd love to see it. If somebody out there has a sample of it, I'd just love to see what it looks like. So Kilkenny has done it. I'm sure I can see other sort of city states, like that sort of closed sort of societies like they have down in Kilkenny, which is very tight parochial type of society. They're doing that for self-preservation. They want to keep the money circulating in Kilkenny, and it's a very, very good way. State doesn't like it though. State doesn't like it. And then anyway, the next thing is the final thing is the health of the state. And I raise that because I'm sure most people know now, Brian Lenihan, who's the Minister of Finance and who deals with the economic health of the state on a daily basis, he is seriously ill, this man. Okay? So we wish him the best. Hope you get better, Brian. Alright? Don't like you politically, but as a human being, I hope you get better. Brian Lenihan heads up the triumvirate, so it mightn't be Brian Lenihan, it could be somebody else, but it doesn't matter, the same principle holds. And the triumvirate is, at the top you have the Minister of Finance, and the two bottom parts of the triangle are Dr. Alan Ahern, who is the Minister of Finance's personal assistant, specially appointed, alright? Because generally speaking, these ministers of finance wouldn't be up into the deeper echelons of economic affairs, so they need somebody to advise them. So they chose this man, Dr. Alan Ahern, and he's an acolyte of Professor Alan Greenspan, who's basically the man who got us into all this shite in the world. Okay? He comes directly from the Federal Reserve, this man, Dr. Alan Ahern. So you've got him on one side, and on the other side we have this newly appointed man for NAMA, man called David Selig, and he's appointee from the board of, it's actually an administrative element within the International Monetary Fund, and he arrives here in May. So the whole thing is going to be set up for that triumvirate, and who advises that triumvirate? The Rothschild Bank. That's who our government has at their private bank to advise them about the whole situation they find themselves in. So you've got the most conspiratorial private bank in the world as main advisors to our state, and we have the main man who deals with that on a day-to-day basis and is the CEO of Ireland in terms of our financial situation. You have him and two head honchos, one from the International Monetary Fund and the other from the Federal Reserve, advising him. So please believe me, it does not read well. It does not augur well, and it only augurs one direction for the well-being of Ireland, and that's that way. It augurs well if you're an international banker, but not if you're a paddy, not if you're a citizen of the Republic, the little Republic. This is what's going to happen. It's down, down, down. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I put this list up and you can have a quick look at it, okay? I'll have to post it. Anyway, listen, we're going to talk tomorrow night about the four elements that are going to make up the big picture from outside of Ireland. Okay?